Step into your future with an all-new series, Star Trek Starfleet Academy.
Being a cadet means being open to the people around you.
I've spent my whole life getting away from stuff, letting someone in. It's hard.
I want to be captain. I need to be captain.
Holly Hunter and Paul Giamatti star.
You'll encounter challenges your predecessors never had to imagine.
Starfleet Academy. New series streaming January 15th on Paramount+.
KATSEYE, Internet Girl, let's talk about it. How y'all doing? Welcome to Let's Talk About It Music Reviews Season 12. How y'all doing? Welcome to the fucking show. Guys, we got a pretty good episode for you today. We got KATSEYE. You know, it's honestly been quite a while since I talked about KATSEYE. I remember when they dropped their whole entire debut album, and I also, I was wanting to check out a few tracks, and then, some things got caught up, I got stuck, reviewing other stuff, how it usually goes around here. But guys, we might as well kick off Season 12 of one of the first reviews of 2026, and let's talk about fucking KATSEYE, because this song right here, Internet Girl, has already been getting some traction. Everybody's saying this is, I hate to say this word, but, I have to say it. People are saying this is the skibbity toilet of music right now, of this song. And that's what I saw on Twitter. And then I had to listen to the song to confirm it for myself. And, honestly, as I listen to the song, I'm not really getting none of that, in my opinion. My only thing I am getting is, the mention of fucking zucchini. Like, every single second. Feels like we're saying zucchini, zucchini, zucchini. And look, when I was younger, hey, I liked eating some fucking zucchini, but I didn't, think about it this fucking much. This whole song is layered in goddamn zucchini, which is pretty fucking funny. Now, guys, KATSEYE, we started talking about KATSEYE when they did Gnarly, and honestly, Gnarly, it's a pretty good song. I mean, the only thing about Gnarly is that the lyrics are a little bit annoying, but as you listen to it more, as it gets stuck in your head, it works really well. And then they come back with this other song, Gabriella, and Gabriella was actually a really good ass track. The singing was top notch. Got stuck in your head, paid homage to the original, paid homage to, novellas, and I really did overall enjoy that song. And then there's another song that I think I reviewed on this show, the last KATSEYE review, or I didn't review it, and I just, listened to the song on my own, was Game Boy. Game Boy was a fucking absolute banger, I still got that song stuck in my head to this day. I mean, Game Boy is a fucking banger. The hook gets stuck in your head. Holy shit. So, I had a really good time listening to some KATSEYE. So, let's kick off 2026 with a good old banger. This one's Internet Girl. I saw the live version that came out first, but I never really checked it out. But let's get into it. Starting off with the beat. Now, look, the beat's kind of, a little bit of that, like, EDM, kind of, pop bass type beat. Reminds me of a lot of kind of early, like, dubstep type beats. That's how it kind of sounds like. The drums, they got some depth to them, which I do like. And I like how the, the bass is kind of, really robotic, really, like, stringy, really, like, bam, in front of your goddamn face, which I do like. I think, if you are going to do something like this, I think KATSEYE hasn't failed on the beats. It's one of my big things about KATSEYE. Why I keep covering this group, because they always have really good beat selection. It always easily gets stuck in your... I really enjoy this beat. I think it, gets easily stuck in your head. And I think, when you have a lot of good background vocals too, really backing up the beat too, I think you're going to have a good time listening to this track. So I really do enjoy the beat. Beat's fucking fire, in my opinion. Now, let's move on now. Let's talk about the hook. The Internet Girl hook is copied and pasted throughout the whole entire song. And y'all know how I feel about, when you just kind of copy and paste a hook. There's no switch-ups. There's no nothing to really stand it apart. We're just going to copy and paste, this hook. But this hook is kind of interesting. I think the Internet Girl part is actually really addicting. I like the vocals. I like how the background vocals really mesh well together. And then I also like the fact, too, that they're kind of, throwing in a bunch of, like, soundboard effects. And, sometimes doing the soundboard thing can get overwhelming. Surprisingly, doing zucchini over and over and over again, it's not really that overwhelming. Honestly, it kind of adds to the charm of the song, in my opinion. And honestly, I'm quite surprised because I was really thinking, this song was going to be really annoying. Like, in my opinion, Gnarly's a pretty annoying track, I think that song can get really old pretty fast, after that first couple of listens, it's like, man, really pulling my damn leg here. But I think this right here is actually kind of on the perfect verge of, a little bit annoying, spamming, eat zucchini, but, there's moments like Internet Girl on the hook, which sound really good. And I love KATSEYE's vocals. I think KATSEYE, they always bring some really nice, like, R&B type vocals.
I had that dream again. My small business needs to hire, but I don't use LinkedIn, and I hire an energy vampire. But also, they're a literal vampire. And suddenly, my team is spending all their time sharpening wooden stakes and buying bulk silver and rehearsing ancient chants, and then I wake up.
Don't let hiring nightmares ruin your dreams. LinkedIn Jobs' new AI assistant takes insights from over 1 billion professionals to create a short list of the best fits for you. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/quality. Start hiring today with LinkedIn.
Which is pretty good in my opinion. I really overall enjoyed that. So that's pretty fire. Now, let's get into the verses, because the verses are one of the things that I think brings this song down. And it's going to be one of my negative points of this track, is the fact that the verses are kind of, the same as, the other hook, as the hook. And so when you have a moment where, you want a verse, you want to switch up, you want some more singing, you want something to really stand apart, you kind of just get the basic ass flow, in my opinion, that just doesn't really sound that good. So I'd say the only down point of this song is going to be the beginning verse. I think the beginning verse is not that strong, in my opinion. I just think the flow doesn't really match the beat. You have this more kind of pop dubstep type beat, and we're kind of doing a more melodic flow rapping verse, which doesn't really sound that good on this beat, in my opinion. So that's my only thing. But I will say, once we dive into that second verse territory, we get more of that singing, more of those background vocals. I think, that's when this track really does start to sound good, starts to sound together. I mean, the eat zucchini thing is a little weird, in my opinion, how it's just overplayed, in my opinion. But I'd say overall, when we talk about this song, we talk about, KATSEYE, and we talk about, all these tracks. I think Internet Girl is actually pretty fucking good. I was really trying to hate it. I was seeing on Twitter all the fucking different ass hate, this is a skibbity toilet song. This is, a moment where, you're listening to a track and, maybe it sounds too internet, cultured or whatever. And honestly, in my opinion, and I just really think that sometimes, you're going to get hate for this type of shit. But I think this is a really good example of, keeping it the same as, what you did with Gnarly. But I'd say, evolving it further, really making it stand out, making it sound fucking better, in my opinion. I really like this synthwave type, dubstep pop beat. I think it actually adds character to the song. And then that zucchini thing, yes, it can get very annoying, but I think that's going to be one of the big things that does get stuck in your head. Plus, the Internet Girl thing does get stuck in your head, too. So, overall, when we talk about this song, KATSEYE, Internet Girl, I really do enjoy the beat. I love the 808s on here. I love the fucking drums. They go crazy. Then I also enjoy that hook. The hook actually sounds really fucking good. And honestly, when we think about it, with all the fucking Twitter shit, everybody's saying the song about Twitter, hey.
This episode is brought to you by Dead Man's Wire, the new film from Roque Entertainment. Dead Man's Wire is the incredible true story of the 1977 kidnapping that turned an aspiring entrepreneur into an outlaw folk hero. Directed by legendary filmmaker Gus Van Sant, Dead Man's Wire stars Bill Skarsgård, Dacre Montgomery, Carrie Elways, and Myha'la, with Coleman Domingo and Al Pacino. In select theaters January 9th, everywhere January 16th.
This one's a fucking hit. overall, I'm going to have to easily give it, for the first review of 2026, an easy 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10, guys. What y'all think about it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? I don't know. Let me know. If you're on YouTube, Spotify, Pandora, wherever you get your podcasts at, make sure you follow, turn on notifications, guys. We're dropping new content every single day. And here's Season 12, guys. We're dropping reviews every day. We'll do even some variety stuff. We'll talk about some news shit, whatever comes out during the week. Get ready. There will be something every single day, so make sure you follow. And thank y'all so much for listening, for supporting the damn show. It means a lot to me. And goddamn, KATSEYE's back. I hope KATSEYE's working on a new album, 2026. It wouldn't be 2026 without, a new KATSEYE album or KATSEYE giving back into the game. Hopefully, if they drop some more fucking music. Preferably, I, want tracks like Game Boy, or more like, more tracks that actually sound like a damn song instead of, spamming, Zucchini over and over and over again. But, hey, I don't know. We'll see where 2026 leads us. And I'll see already have a good one. Yeah, guys. And I really did not hear, anything too fucking crazy. I think Twitter just hates, KATSEYE just hates this group because overall, in my opinion, this one's not as nearly bad as Gnarly. Gnarly was like the way worse track, guys. So you cannot tell me Internet Girl is not as bad as Gnarly. Gnarly was definitely a damn experience to fucking listen to. Alright, guys. Bye.
Well, the holidays have come and gone once again, but if you've forgotten to get that special someone in your life a gift, well, Mint Mobile is extending their holiday offer of half off unlimited wireless. So here's the idea. You get it now, you call it an early present for next year. What do you have to lose? Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Limited time 50% off regular price for new customers. Upfront payment required. $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds may slow after 50 gigabytes per month when network is busy. See terms.